Blackstone Audio presents The Anatomist's Apprentice, a Dr. Thomas Silkstone mystery by Tessa Harris. This book is read by Simon Vance. To my parents, Patsy and Geoffrey, my husband, Simon, and children, Charlie and Sophie, with love and thanks. It matters not how a man dies, but how he lives. The act of dying is not of importance. It takes so short a time. Dr. Samuel Johnson, 1769. Prologue. Time, they say, is a great physician. It is not, however, a good anatomist. Time may help heal the wounds to the soul left by the physical departure of a friend or the death of a loved one, but to an anatomist, a corpse, devoid of any signs of life save that of maggots and blowflies, is an altogether different matter. When the very bacteria that once fed on the contents of the intestines begin to digest the intestines themselves, then time becomes an enemy. What you are about to read is the story of a man whose name has been lost in the mists of history, but to whom modern crime-fighting owes so much. Just over 200 years ago, anatomists were not afforded the luxury of cold storage to retard the putrefaction process. When a man died, dissection, if it were deemed necessary or desirable, had to be performed quickly before the body attracted flies and the flesh began to rot. The dissecting rooms of Georgian London were no place for those of a delicate constitution at the best of times, let alone in the summer, when the stench of hydrogen sulphide mingled with methane and ammonia was enough to make even those with cast-iron stomachs retch. Dr. Thomas Silkstone did not pretend to be less susceptible to the grotesque characteristics of a rotting corpse than the next man, but he had forced himself, over the last 7 years of his practice, since his arrival in London from his native Philadelphia, to overcome the sense of revulsion, the nausea, and the faintness so often suffered by those less experienced. He was still young, at only 25, at least 20 years younger than most of his fellow anatomists, yet he had a singularity of purpose and a dedication to his craft that set him apart from the rest of his fraternity. Students would flock to his rooms to watch him work deftly on a corpse, explaining each incision as he did so in a voice whose accent was not quite the king's English, but a gentleman's none the less. It is to this young American doctor that today's pathologists owe their origins. He was the first to record the very...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?